Hello everyone and welcome to the brand new season. This is season 4 of this universe. Of course, we are here 2K14 at long last, and I've got a big show to announce for you all here tonight. This is the first episode, and therefore it is the draft episode, as we are set to find out who will be going to what brands coming this week. And of course, starting here tonight on Raw. And what bigger and better way to kick that draft off than later on tonight, we've got Mark Henry set to go one-on-one with SmackDown's Randy Orton in a draft match. Also to come tonight, the Intercontinental Champion Bret Hart will be in action as he faces David Otunga. Then, later on tonight, Raw selected the former Intercontinental Champion Justin Gabriel to represent Raw, whilst the Undertaker will represent SmackDown in what I can only imagine is a first-time face-off. And in our main event tonight, as was to be expected, it will be Champion versus Champion, as The Rock, the new WWE Champion, faces off against the retaining World Heavyweight Champion from last night's WrestleMania, Triple H. But now let's take you to the ring with the former WWE Champion, JBL, in our first draft match of the night. Here we go. The former WWE Champion. Feels crazy to say that. Brand new season, brand new set, brand new intro, everything here has changed. Of course, if this is your first time ever seeing this series, well, there's been a lot. I wouldn't expect everyone to catch up on it, but I will just simply say there has been a lot. And I have a very, very big announcement I have been looking forward to making, and I'm going to kick this episode off by making that announcement. This coming Wednesday, I present to you the return of NXT, a brand that didn't last all too long in previous seasons, will now be taking the Wednesday slot. Superstars won't be going away, because I know that will be the next question on a lot of people's minds. We will be having 4 shows a week here, and the reason Superstars is not going away is because it will serve a very important role in all of this, as we are going to be finding out who will be coming to the main rosters once a month. Now, I'm going to quickly go over the explanation of NXT whilst I've got a moment, because it's quite lengthy, but I'm trying to handle things very differently and trying to do something fresh here. So, I don't know if Brodus still gets his introduction. If he does, I'll wait a moment for him to be introduced, because I honestly don't know if he gets it still or not. Does he? No. Okay. Well, they still come up with it. Let's go. Oh wow, I forgot this. In this game, you can do threads for their entrance attires. Yeah, as I mentioned before at WrestleMania, I actually did all of these threads a long time ago, so I don't actually remember. But yeah, that's nice to remember. Anyway, so yes, NXT will be coming back this Wednesday. It will be the very next episode that you'll be seeing of this series. Now, the way that NXT is going to work this, and going forward, let's say this season, but just going forward in general, is, of course, because of the shortage of divas, there will only be a men's division on NXT. In the future, we look to expand this, but at this current point in time, there are not very many divas in the WWE in general. Speaking of which, if any draft picks happen from draft matches tonight that send divas to another brand, those will be nullified. Those aren't actual draft picks. The divas are on both brands, so that really doesn't count if that happens. Just a heads up. I can't control that. These first draft matches are really just whatever it decides that they're going to be. But yeah, so anyway, the way NXT is going to work, because I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this, I'm already expecting it, is every single newcomer in the WWE is going to have to go through NXT. It doesn't matter how much of a wrestling legend you are, how well known you are in any other realm of wrestling, everyone has to go through NXT. And obviously I realize that's a little bit controversial, because without spoiling it for anyone that doesn't know, if you know who the newcomers of this game are, that's going to be a very strange roster on NXT to start with. But the way that I plan to do things is, once a month there will be a match on Superstars between someone who has been successful, maybe just finished a rivalry on NXT, maybe, you know, has been a top-ranked superstar over there for a while. They will be competing against a superstar from Raw or SmackDown, whoever is the lowest ranked from Raw or SmackDown, and it will be what we call an exchange match. And basically the way I want to keep things kind of fresh is that NXT will always have a roster of 16 superstars, whilst Raw and SmackDown get the rest of the superstars to split amongst them. But the way this works is, if the NXT superstar is able to defeat the Raw or SmackDown superstar, they will take their place on Raw or SmackDown. However, they will have to continue to compete on superstars to work their way up the ranks. But the superstar who lost to that NXT superstar will then become a part of NXT and have to work their way back up from down there, as we feel like this is a good way to kind of rotate out some of the lower ranking talent and give them an opportunity to prove themselves in a different manner. JBL looking for the clothesline from hell, and there it is. I tell you, Brodus Clay has not stood a chance in this match. It's no surprise JBL, a very bitter man after losing to The Rock last night at WrestleMania, knowing that right now he may not even get a rematch. That is the first time, by the way, anyone has ever kicked out of the clothesline. I'm glad it was Brodus Clay, of all people, that did it. I had a suggestion to mess with the sliders in this game. I actually did initially for 13. I'll have to remember to do it for this one too. JBL, now look at the strength of this man, the former WWE Champion. JBL, devastating powerbomb, and oh my god, Brodus. Brodus, I think you're gonna want to just, like, I don't know, quickly grab the referee by the collar and say, look, I submit, just let me out of this match. Because this isn't gonna end until JBL gets a pinfall, and JBL is in no good mood right now. I will try to keep the show intros as a thing going forward. The only reason I got rid of them in 13 was because there was no pyro sound effects, so I had to edit them in from a different game myself, and that got a little bit annoying. That's literally the whole reason I stopped doing show intros in the last season. The pyro didn't work properly in nothing worked properly in 13, let's be honest. Well, let's hope JBL, yeah, there you go. Flip him away from the rope, smart move. Cover attempt here by the former champion, and it's no surprise after 3 minutes and 17 seconds of pure brutality at the expense of Brodus Clay that this one is already over, which means that Raw will be getting their own hand-selected draft pick from SmackDown right now. This is the way that this works, is that these draft matches here tonight, the winning brand will get to choose who is coming to their brand, which could be very interesting. They could actually take someone back who was drafted away previously because of this. So you may see people bounce between brands in the coming Raw and SmackDown draft matches. Yeah, on Saturday on Superstars, we'll be doing the supplemental draft. We'll be announcing the final exchanges, but there should be a total of about 9 to 10 people being exchanged by the end of the draft from each brand to the other. So now we move on to the very first draft event of the night. What we got? Does this just go straight into it? Yes, it does. Okay, so here we see the selection of SmackDown Superstars that could be drafted. A lot of great superstars in this mix. And, oh! Well, this comes as a bit of a surprise. This man was a former World Heavyweight Champion here on Raw. It looks like he's taken a bit of a new approach in a new season. Swagger has never looked this determined before. You know, the old cocky swagger, no pun intended, of Jack Swagger seems to be gone right now. This could be a really big change, and perhaps another World Championship is in line for the former World Heavyweight Champion, Jack Swagger. I mean, obviously, we're just seeing a guy come down to the ring. We don't know too much about, you know, how much of him has changed, but this is a huge first draft pick. Well, let's hope that this season can be a lot better for David Otunga. Definitely didn't have a great year last year.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, he is a graduate of Harvard Law School, weighing 229 pounds, David Otunga.
Well, he's got a very big opportunity here tonight. David Otunga gets to face the Intercontinental Champion in non-title matchup, but he could defeat the brand new Intercontinental Champion, Bret Hart. What a big draft we just had, though. Jack Swagger coming back to Raw. I know, obviously, in a lot of people's eyes, maybe this isn't a very important draft pick right now, but I feel like this could really change the balance of things. I mean, obviously, the Real Americans, Antonio Cesaro and Jack Swagger, they are now separated for the time being. There's still 9 more draft picks, though, so you never know. We could see Antonio Cesaro come back to Raw, which would be kind of almost ironic, considering he was only sent over to SmackDown, you know, what, a month or so ago?
And approaching the ring, from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, weighing 234 pounds, the Intercontinental Champion, Bret the Hitman Hart.
Well, this definitely came as a big surprise last night at WrestleMania. Bret Hart winning the Intercontinental Championship. Obviously, I'm not saying it's a surprise in the sense of that I don't support it, that I'm not happy to see it. I mean more in the sense of, like, it just came as a shock that Bret Hart was able to obtain that championship so early into that 6-man ladder match. But that's the thing about those kind of matches, you can never tell what's going to happen. And I tell you, this guy has been pursuing the Intercontinental Championship for a very long time. Honestly, I'd say most of the last season. And the thing is, this could be the final time you see the Hitman on Raw. The Intercontinental Championship could be drafted over to SmackDown. Now, as I've mentioned before, obviously the way championships work, if you're new here, if you've not heard this before, the way that the championships work when it comes to the draft is simply if Bret Hart is drafted to SmackDown or the new United States Champion Dolph Ziggler is drafted here to Raw, then the other must go over to the other brand to kind of help keep that balance between the two brands. It's going to be fun trying to remember to edit those for a while. If you ever see a loading screen in between entrances and then like the match, just know that it's I just forgot. That's all it is. I literally just forgot. This Wednesday on NXT, though, the first episode back of NXT, we will be unveiling the new NXT Championship in the coming weeks, as all 16 superstars on NXT will be competing in a multi-week tournament to determine the first ever NXT champion. That's right, all 16 superstars on NXT. Like I mentioned before, there will only be 16 superstars on NXT at one given time. The other thing I want to mention, by the way, is that for the time being, of course, because the rosters are a little bit limited, we want to keep the tag divisions kind of fresh on Raw and SmackDown, and we can't just have every tag superstar leave NXT right away, etc. So there will be no actual tag team division on NXT for the time being. Obviously, that is another thing that will grow as the rosters grow over the years. I'm sure we'll be able to get more people in, but for the time being, we can't get too many more people. Well, we can't get any more people in. We've blown our whole budget. So for the next season, who you've got is who you got, and I will be saying that you should look forward to NXT. It's going to be great, but yeah, that's the important thing to mention, is that there's no tag division and there's no Divas division on NXT to begin with. It will strictly be a singles division. And that's not to say there won't be tag matches on NXT. That's not to say that tag teams can't form on NXT. It's just that if they're looking for a championship, if they're looking for tag team success, they're going to find it better once they get off of NXT. And obviously that could lead to a potential swap out match. I've already forgotten the exchange match. That's the one. I don't know how I forgot the term I coined so quickly. Yes, that could lead to an exchange match on Superstars, where perhaps you could see, you know, a tag team from NXT face up against a tag team from Raw or SmackDown, and we could see a tag team exchange places. But this will be happening once a month, so hypothetically speaking, you could be seeing an exchange of 12 of the 16 superstars by the end of this season. But I want to keep the NXT roster fairly consistent, so I don't want everyone to just be leaving it at once, you know what I mean? So I felt like this is the best way to do it. Once a month, one superstar gets an opportunity, maybe two, depending on if they're, you know, I'm open to that possibility. Bret Hart with that pile driver on David Otunga, but Otunga with a kick out. I think the ropes maybe gave him a little bit of leverage there. You know what would be absolutely huge is if we saw Batista come here to Monday nights after he just made his return over on SmackDown. He's officially a part of, following his WrestleMania victory over Brock Lesnar. And ooh, poke to the eye there by David Otunga. As I said before, imagine if Otunga can defeat the Intercontinental Champion. This is going to do wonders for his career. Back and forth between these two, and now Bret Hart once again going in for the sharpshooter, and this time it looks like he's caught David Otunga in it. Otunga can't reach the ropes, and instantly this man has tapped out to the sharpshooter. That is one thing I remember about this game, is matches definitely don't take as long, but I don't mind that. I feel like as long as the pay-per-view matches are long, the Raw and SmackDown matches, they can be about 5 minutes. That's okay. You don't need every single match to be 10 plus minutes. A point can be made nice and quickly. As long as the main event is decent, I don't really feel like too many people would be upset that Bret Hart beat David Otunga in about 4 minutes, you know? Well, the Intercontinental Champion is victorious tonight in the only non-draft match. And as I said before, he could be saying goodbye to SmackDown by the end of the week. I mean, goodbye to Raw by the end of the week. We'll see. But congratulations to the Intercontinental Champion Bret Hart and his victory here tonight as we move towards our next match of the night. It's another draft match, and it's a big one at that. Mark Henry from Raw will face off against Randy Orton from SmackDown. Alright, we are back here on Raw as here comes the man who was defeated by John Cena last night.
Making his way to the ring from Silsbee, Texas, weighing 418 pounds, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
Mark Henry's got a big opportunity to kind of get redemption after what went down last night. Well, actually, no, sorry, I don't know why I said he was defeated by John Cena. I think I just kind of made up in my head that Cena won that match. That match went to a 20-minute time limit draw to kick off WrestleMania last night. Neither Mark Henry nor Cena were victorious, and I feel like they definitely have unfinished business that I wonder if will carry over here tonight or in the coming weeks. Obviously, Raw's first pay-per-view, Extreme Rules, comes your way in 4 weeks' time, so we shall see if perhaps this rivalry continues. Obviously, it depends on if they even remain on the same brand with each other. Now, here's the interesting thing, as I mentioned to you before. If Randy Orton defeats Mark Henry tonight and the SmackDown general manager decides that they want to take back Jack Swagger as their hand pick, they can. That will nullify the draft picks. That won't count as one of the 10 from either brand. That will simply remove the one from Raw, and we will be back to 10 picks being required for both, as we want to actually change up the rosters, which means that Swagger could end up being drafted once again in a later match or the supplemental draft. This could literally just be an exchange of who has Jack Swagger, is what I'm saying. Anything can happen in the draft. As we wait and we wait and we wait. Here comes Randy Orton, his first time here on Raw since being screwed out of the WWE Championship. Right, the last time we saw Randy Orton here on Raw, he was cheated out of the WWE Championship. He's a fighting champion, made his way to SummerSlam, defeated The Miz at SummerSlam to retain the WWE Championship, and then begun McMahon's power trip, which eventually led to McMahon's demise. We won't be seeing Mr. McMahon anytime soon here in the WWE again, but I will say, Randy Orton, I don't think he's forgiven, and I don't think he's forgotten. And I feel like if he were to wind up again here on Raw, I feel like he'd be going straight for the man that took his WWE Championship from him, The Rock. Now, The Rock is a very different man to when he cashed in his briefcase on Randy Orton. I feel like he'd gladly accept the challenge of Randy Orton, but I don't feel like Randy Orton has forgotten. He doesn't seem like the forgiving type, is what I'm saying. I was gonna say, yeah, you may have noticed we couldn't sell all the seats here tonight, so the higher up the rafter seats, like all the way at the back, you might have noticed those fans weren't moving. Those were cardboard cutouts. We couldn't sell that many tickets. I mean, this is the post WrestleMania Raw. It's a big one, but like, you know, the wrestling buzz kind of dies down from here because WrestleMania's been. We'll see a lot of you all next year. I'm kidding. I imagine that must be a thing that happens. I think a lot of people like the first week after Mania, and then it kind of dips. Because there's still a lot of buzz riding on the hype of Mania by the next Raw. You know, assuming the WrestleMania didn't suck. I don't imagine there was a lot of hype on the Raw after WrestleMania 33. The last WrestleMania I watched before giving up on WWE because it had gotten so bad. I like them again now, don't get me wrong. And I kept up with them as best as I could online. It's just I hadn't watched a show since Mania 33 up until Money in the Bank of this year, 2022. What is that, 5 years later? I think we just had WrestleMania 38, so I think that's 5 years later. Yeah, 2017 is when I stopped, so yeah, it would be 5 years later. Yeah, I just really fell out of love with it. I got bored of Brock Lesnar's title reigns. I got really fed up with Braun Strowman. I wasn't really feeling Roman. I like Roman. I just wasn't really feeling him that much, you know. It was kind of, it's just kind of just a thing that was happening. I think he had a lot of bad feuds. And then, of course, right after I stopped watching, Jinder Mahal won the WWE title, which was like... Oh, that was the one where they fucking killed Bray Wyatt at Mania 2, Mania 33. Yeah, they had him lose the title to Randy for some reason. I like Randy a lot, but fans really like Bray Wyatt, and I don't think WWE liked that fans like Bray Wyatt very much. Anyway, I'll stop talking about that kind of shit now. Sorry, I just kind of fell into a little bit of a babble about that. Randy going ham at Mark Henry here. Our third match here tonight, our second draft match so far, as I mentioned before, in case you're somehow only tuning in now. Jack Swagger drafted here to Raw, where he will make his start on Raw again next week, assuming Jack Swagger isn't, you know, drafted again at any given point in the coming week that we have. Obviously, anyone who's been drafted, I should probably mention that as well, anyone who's been drafted here on Raw or this Friday on SmackDown won't be in the rotation for the supplemental draft. So that is worth mentioning. We won't see any repeat draft picks following the drafts here on Raw and SmackDown. It's just these draft matches are where the general managers get to choose who comes, sorry, who comes to the brand. Forgive me. Randy now dropping Mark Henry with a DDT. It feels so good to be able to leave these two to fight each other and to see an actual good match happen. It's very nice. It's very refreshing. Randy going for an RKO. Mark Henry with a great reversal there. Shoves him off, and now Mark Henry catches Randy Orton into the world's strongest slam. I can't react too loudly because I record these at 1 in the morning, but dropping him with the world's strongest slam. Is Henry going to beat Orton? Oh, almost. Almost saw Raw get a second draft pick tonight. Imagine that. Imagine if Raw just dominated. Obviously, we will be rebalancing the brands. That's why there's 10 to go to each side, no matter what. I find it interesting, you know, you can take a pick of whoever you want, and it's interesting to see who management chooses as their draft pick in that situation. You know, as I said before, I'd have taken Batista, I'd have taken Brock Lesnar, you know? Maybe even, well, I mean, I don't think I'd take Triple H, because then you lose The Rock. I feel like they're of very even value. I'm looking forward to that main event tonight. Big slam there by Mark Henry, and he gets him. That is one thing I remember at this game, is some matches will end on the strangest... I think that was a signature, so it's at least fairly understandable. But, there you go. The Gorilla Press Slam from Mark Henry. And the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, earns this brand, Monday Night Raw, their second draft pick of the night. And I'll be very interested to see who is hand-picked from Friday Night SmackDown to come here to Monday Night Raw next. There is a great pool of talent on Friday nights. I said it before and I'll say it again. There's some real talent there. You know, Damien Sandow. I could just name names. But there's no point. We might as well keep moving and find out who is getting drafted from SmackDown. So let's find out. Who has been hand-selected as the next pick from SmackDown? I mean, look, Sheamus, Christian, Edge, Undertaker. There's so many great choices in this rotation. And this is what I mean. You can take whoever you want. And naturally, this should be a great pick for either brand. Brock Lesnar coming back here to Monday Night Raw, where he won his first ever World Heavyweight Championship to close out in 2010 at the TLC event. It's going to be big with Brock Lesnar back on Monday nights. I tell you, Brock and The Rock, now that's a match I think I'd love to see. What a huge draft pick in our second pick of the night. Two more to come, another one up next. This is a very interesting match. Oh wow, I forgot I like this one. Aw, this makes me kind of sad actually. I get the impression that I themed the colours off of him being an Intercontinental Champion. And he's not anymore. Aww. Well, Justin Gabriel, he does have a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship. We'll see if he can defeat Bret Hart at Extreme Rules, assuming, of course, he doesn't, you know, get his rematch, obviously, beforehand or get drafted away. I believe if the former champion gets drafted away, you'd have to consider them a top contender for the other brand's titles. So maybe we could get Gabriel and Ziggler, for example, in that situation. But I don't know. I'm kind of guessing. There's a lot of guessing going on here. Well, last night this man defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin in what was a great match.
And approaching the ring from Death Valley, weighing 299 pounds, the Undertaker.
I am actually a little bit afraid for Justin Gabriel right now. The former Intercontinental Champion was handpicked to represent Raw tonight, but obviously the thing is, when these decisions were made on who would be representing the brands, they weren't informed of who they'd be up against. So you may see some mismatches here. I have a lot of belief that, you know, the faith in Justin Gabriel is not misguided. That is a very talented individual, former United States Champion, former Intercontinental Champion, former Tag Team Champion, Cruiserweight Champion. Barring the World Championship, there's not really a lot more that Justin Gabriel has left to accomplish. But, there's a man who has only ever held World Championships. There's a man who from day one has always been a big deal. Some textures in this game are really good. Like these little details in the front and back of his robe. And yet the graphics are kind of mixed. I guess it depends on the person, you know. They're not going to put loads of effort into Gabriel, no disrespect. Oh my god, the way Undertaker was just staring him down. Yeah, I got a bad feeling for Justin Gabriel in this one. Okay. Oh, they're like double pressed. Oh, okay. Undertaker straight in on the offense. I'm like, oh my god. Well, the former Intercontinental Champion Justin Gabriel wasn't actually defeated for his Intercontinental Championship last night. That's the one thing he's got to kind of remind himself in case he's lost any kind of focus and determination and belief in oneself, is he wasn't pinned or submitted to lose the Intercontinental Championship in his matchup last night. It was a 6-man ladder match, and all that really happened there is that Justin Gabriel wasn't the one to climb the ladder and retrieve the championship. He wasn't even in the ring when the match came to an end. Wow, I tell you, I did not expect to see Undertaker get thrown around like that. Okay, well, that was a bit of a misalignment from both of them. But it's Undertaker who takes very quick control from that. Oh my god. Oh my god, Gabriel, get out of there. Justin Gabriel just getting smacked by the Undertaker repeatedly. Yeah, I got a bad feeling this one ain't gonna go too well for poor Gabriel. Okay, I'll say this. Well, naturally, the fans are chanting for Gabriel here tonight. It's not a surprise. We're here on Monday Night Raw, and that is what he is representing. Oh my god, orange damage already. Oh my god. Ooh, nice move there. Taking Undertaker off his feet. Uh-oh. Oh, never mind. Oh boy. I think this is it for Justin Gabriel, I'm afraid. The last ride. Ooh. I have a lot of respect for Justin Gabriel. I think he's been incredible, but this doesn't surprise me if this is it. Ooh. Uh-oh. Okay, well, Justin Gabriel, poor guy, never stood a chance. Tombstone pile driver from the Undertaker. I think Gabriel's boot is in the ropes. Yeah, there you go. It's a rope break from the referee. That might help keep Gabriel in this one. Oh god, you see how fast Gabriel's legs move? These Raw fans really want to see Gabriel pick up draft pick number 3. Devastating DDT there by the Undertaker. And another kick out there by Justin Gabriel. I don't know what he is kicking out with, but he is kicking out. He's finding it upon himself to try and hang into this one, but every move he takes, Undertaker is just 3 steps ahead. You know, I wonder if we've seen the last of the rivalry between Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker. I feel like perhaps Undertaker may have just made Stone Cold more upset, which means we might get more matches between those two. And if it's anything like that WrestleMania match, I'm all for it. Gabriel pulled away from the ropes by The Undertaker, who's now going for another cover attempt, and that is unfortunately it. Damn, kick out meter is too slow. Well, I am not too surprised by that one. Justin Gabriel was kind of fighting an uphill struggle all along. And with that now, SmackDown gets their first draft pick. Now remember, SmackDown General Manager, whoever you are, wherever you are, listen to me. Do not draft a diva. You are wasting a pick. It will not count. Don't do it. I know behind when I pull the curtain back and everyone's able to see between the lines, we all know that that's a possibility because I put all the divas on Raw. And then I just use both divisions. I use them on both shows. Please don't draft a diva. Well, now SmackDown gets their fair share. Of course, it shows all the divas right away. SmackDown gets their fair share of picks here from Monday Night Raw. Who is going to SmackDown? Oh! Oh my god, the new World Tag Team Champion! Oh yeah, they fucked up his entrance in this game, didn't they? I forgot about that. Didn't they actually start doing this in real life? Isn't this not fucked up? This is what his entrance actually turned into. They'd like turn the lights off afterwards? Well, he doesn't seem to have his tag team title around his waist right now. That's a bit strange, but Chris Jericho makes his return to Friday Night SmackDown. Last time he was over there, he was not all too successful, and I'd have to imagine this would then imply that if he is not brought back from SmackDown at any point, that the Big Show will be coming to SmackDown as well, which in turn means that the WWE Tag Team Champions, well, actually the new WWE Tag Team Champions, Heath Slater and Drew McIntyre, Heath Slater is already a part of Raw, so that would mean that Drew McIntyre would be kind of automatically brought over to Raw to keep the Tag Team Champions together. So we may very well have two picks right there already decided. It depends on how things go. That will be for the end of the week, the supplemental draft. That will decide, obviously, let's say it's a guarantee that the Tag Team Champions will be kept together. So we'll see how things go. Here we go. This is a big one. Both these two have got to be exhausted from last night, and a brand new title. This is the first I've heard of this. Apparently we have a brand new WWE Championship fit for The Rock. In his second reign as WWE Champion, he finally put an end to the reign of terror of JBL. We've seen from the start of the night that JBL is clearly still very bitter about losing the WWE Championship, and I can't say I'm all too surprised. I feel like he's going to be a nightmare to deal with, whatever brand he ends up on. JBL, that is. The Rock, the WWE Champion. It's a great sight to see again, honestly. The Rock once again donning the top prize here on Monday nights. But the question is, will he make Raw their third draft pick for the night? This is a very big one-on-one match we got here tonight, and I believe we'll be seeing it again this Friday on SmackDown. I could be wrong about that, but I believe that's how that tends to work. Triple H, the World Heavyweight Champion, managed to defeat Antonio Cesaro and become the first man to ever defeat the Royal Rumble winner at WrestleMania. Triple H, one of a very, very small collection of people to hold both the World Heavyweight and WWE Championships in his career. That man is the first ever man to hold the title currently in possession by The Rock. It looks so pouty. Well, as I said before, this should be a very good match here tonight on Raw. You put The Rock against Triple H and you expect me to be able to figure out which one of these two is winning? I have no idea. I don't know. How can I know? Well, naturally, I can't pick a winner. I just can't pick a winner. I still need to get used to the reversals in this game, so until then, I'm gonna be screwing up a lot in these matches. So I don't really want to play this right now. if I can help it. To be honest, the AI puts on way better matches anyway, so I don't mind. Well, naturally, in his home crowd here, home as in Raw. I didn't actually see where we were from tonight. I didn't see if it was Los Angeles, California for the billionth time. Sends him off the ropes and it looked like Rock go over that Samoan drop, but you can always kind of tell when the Rock's not going to be able to connect with it because of the speed in which he's able to pick them up. They kind of don't give him the leverage. They kind of, I guess they sandbag him. They put that dead weight down and they make sure that he can't connect with that Samoan drop. There's one thing that we're going to learn in this season though, I'm going to tell you now, is that you never know when a match is going to end. It can be very sudden, and that includes this match. World Heavyweight Champion and WWE Champion in the same match, one-on-one. That's always going to be a treat, and you got to make the most of it because I believe between tonight and maybe Friday night, assuming that this match takes place again on Friday, that'll be the only two times you see these two face off one-on-one in the very near future. Unless they're both champions by Survivor Series.
The kick connects. Oh, that elbow's gotta hurt. And once again, The Rock has fought his way back into the match.
Rock laying into Triple H. But as I mentioned before, the interesting thing about this match is that neither one of these two can be in very good condition right now. I find that to be quite a fascinating thought. We have no idea how fit to compete either of these two are. You know, that grueling fight with Antonio Cesaro, that battle between JBL and The Rock, I feel like both Triple H and The Rock have got to be worn out right now. The only thing I will say is that The Rock, he is in peak physical condition right now. I've never seen him look so good physically, but honestly, I can say the same about Triple H. For over DDT by The Rock. The Rock sending Triple H into the corner. Goes with that turnbuckle, but a quick reversal. Triple H, what's he looking for here? Okay, you got to understand, when he gets in a position like that, I'm wondering if we're about to see a pedigree or not. Float over DDT once again by The Rock. I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? Now, I know I've had people ask me in the past, so I'll just go ahead and say it now just in case anyone's wondering. I can't make better arenas. I could try, but the logos can only be made like a little bit bigger. So, like, the apron would be like really blank and everything would just be kind of like, for the most part, just really blank, honestly. So I'm going to just use the in-game arenas. Plus they load faster. And they look better. Because, like, it loads in all the shaders and stuff better. It doesn't really seem to like you using custom arenas. They're there as an option if you want them, but it doesn't seem to... They don't look nearly as good as the in-game ones.
Here comes some offense from Triple H.
Do wonder what we'll see first in this match, the pedigree or the rock bottom. Stomping on the arm of The Rock.
If you're just tuning in, Michael Cole, along with WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler,
wow.
welcoming you to this
Big clothesline there from Triple H. Almost 5 minutes into this matchup. I don't feel like we're any closer to finding out who is going to be winning this one. Whether or not it will be Raw or SmackDown with a draft pick. You got to expect a big competitive matchup when you're putting Raw against SmackDown like this, especially when it's champion versus champion. Down goes Triple H once again. Rock known for his stylized strikes. He adds so much personality to what he does in that ring. I tell you, I'm really looking forward to the first episode of NXT, The Revival, coming your way in 2 days' time. I'm very interested in finding out who's new here in the WWE, every single new superstar is NXT bound. Now, I will go ahead and break some news for you because I know there will be people wondering about this situation. What about people who have been here before that are making their return? Well, they won't have to go through NXT. So it is with that I am able to announce that you will be seeing some returning superstars. Whether or not they end up on Raw or SmackDown, that will be decided post-draft privately amongst the general managers, and you will see them make their first appearances, perhaps starting from as soon as next week in terms of returning superstars. And there may be a few superstars that actually bypass the call-up system and end up on Raw and SmackDown, simply because I think we may have a few more signees coming than 16. So a few may actually end up on Raw or SmackDown without going through NXT, but that is to be seen. I can't say any more than I already have. It'll all make sense by the end of this month. I'd imagine we'll have a good example of who's on what shows. Obviously, the draft will be a very big giveaway of like the main part of that. As now we see Triple H going for a pedigree here, but The Rock with a great reversal. Very sly, very clever. Back body drop to take Triple H down. But yes, obviously NXT, you'll get a good taste of who the 16 superstars are by the oh, rock bottom here. Rock bottom, this could be it. Is this going to be enough? Is it over? No, it is not. Sorry, I had to wait in suspense there just in case. But yes, obviously I won't be able to show you the full tournament bracket at any point. I will have to keep you updated on that in case you do or do not remember. I'm sorry, I can't show the tournament bracket. That literally gives away who's on NXT in one hit, and I kind of want that to be like a pleasant surprise. Obviously, you'll be able to see what the matches are in the description. I won't just make every single match a mystery match. It's just, I want to keep the tournament, you know, who ends up on NXT, I want that to be like a reveal each week. I feel like it's just more fun that way. I'll be completely randomizing the matches for the tournament, like who's in it, who they're up against each round and stuff. So you might see some very strange main events and stuff. But I'm just, you know, I want to give everyone a fair shot for the NXT title. Fans really on board here for The Rock as he goes for a rock bottom, but Triple H with a reversal. And now a kick to the midsection. He tried this earlier. The Rock was able to reverse it. Can The Rock reverse the pedigree a second time? No. The pedigree has connected from the World Heavyweight Champion. Has SmackDown got their second pick? No. Oh my God. I told you these two were going to give it their all tonight. The new Dolph Ziggler Steal the Show t-shirt, a very big hit amongst our fans. You can probably tell that blue t-shirt is all over the crowd. Is this going to be enough to put Triple H away? No. I tell you, you got to keep an eye on those camel clutches. I hear they're getting awfully lethal these days. A sleeper hold too, actually. This could be it. This genuinely could be the end of this matchup. And there it is. The Rock forced to submit. I tell you, submissions, they're a thing of, you got to get with it, folks. They are, the present day, they are crucial. It's all about submissions in this year, the year 2012 of the Lord. I'm not religious at all. I just wanted to make that statement now, nice and quick. Anyway, the World Heavyweight Champion Triple H is victorious, and the time has come to find out who is going to be the show closing draft pick. Normally these end up being the worst picks, just a heads up. So get ready. This will probably be a diva you've never seen before. A brand new face will be drafted to SmackDown, so it won't count for anything. I'll tell you what, if that does happen, the video is just going to end here. So we'll see. If you're still seeing this, then good news, it wasn't a diva you've never seen before getting drafted. Here we go, the draft is up. Who is going to SmackDown? Which one of these Raw superstars Has SmackDown decided? Oh my god! You know what? I take back what I said before. That is a huge draft pick to finish the night on. That's what I just said. Stop stealing my lines. John Cena. I guess that settles it. Him and Mark Henry's issues may very well have to be put on hold, because John Cena is headed to Friday nights once again. What a huge way to close out Raw by saying goodbye, potentially, to one of the biggest names on the brand. Holy hell, I'll see you Wednesday for NXT. Don't want to miss it. The tournament begins in 2 days. Goodbye, John Cena.